show. It's Young Gage, Baton Rouge, homegrown. Behind the grind, it's behind the scenes, behind the lines of creative minds. Define the reason, define the rhyme. Salute the DJ, play this one more time. So come now, get the whole rundown, watch the whole run through. Hit the thumbs up, hit the bell and the share too. Please and thank you. Without further ado, I bring to you behind the grind, behind the scenes, behind the lines of creative minds. Behind the grind, behind the scenes, behind the lines of creative minds. Behind the grind, it's behind the scenes, behind the lines of creative minds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you tuned into another episode of Behind the Grind, where we tug on the strings of all things art, entertainment, and music. I'm your host, Young Gage, from Baton Rouge, born and raised. And today I have a dope comedian coming in, real dope. I caught one or two of his sets, and he was real funny. You know, no cap, and I don't give courtesy laughs. So without further ado, I want to welcome y'all to C-Bazz The Comedian. C-Bazz, tell them where you're coming from, man. Who
yes,
you are.
sir, man. Appreciate the warm, beautiful introduction, fam. Your boy C-Bazz Comedian, man, actor, writer, producer, all that. Louisiana native, man, but I live here in BR. BR is where I started my comedy career back in like the early 2000s. We talking like Jagged Edge days. We talking like 112. You know what I'm saying? Like way back then. So I'm just blessed to still be doing it, bro. Got movies going up, man. Everything is great, bro. And again, y'all hear what he said. I'm funny now. Y'all heard what y'all can Google me. But if Gage said it, because I'm gonna tell you something, you got to earn them laughs with Gage. Gage ain't just giving no free laughs out. He ain't just no giggly type cat. So you got to come with it. So, but it's all love, man. C-Bazz here reporting live.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope, man. So being a comedian, like what inspired you to go down that path? Like when did you first discover that you were actually funny and a comedian?
Man, bro, you know, it's crazy, man, because like most people, you will hear stories and they'll say, like, you know, man, from I was a kid and you know, and this, that, man, look, I never even considered the path of a comedian. It wasn't until honestly I came to Baton Rouge. Like I was fresh out of college. I graduated from Grambling State University. Shout out. I know we won't get all the love down here, but you know, GSU represent. Even though I got love for Southern, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so it's I was hanging around these cats, man, and for the old school cats, they might remember like Converges, like West, you know what I'm saying, Bell South. So that was my first job out of college, and I had these dudes that I was around. I didn't know they was comedians. So I'm just hanging around with them. And I'm literally like sitting down with these cats once a week doing writing sessions. And I'm just saying stuff to them. And they're like, bro, that's funny. So I'm starting to see it on stage. One of them actually, Brother Van Chu, a lot of cats still know him, whatever. He's a Comic View representative. He been on Comedy like 2 or 3 times when Comic like popping back in the early 2000s. Like, comedy we talking about. I started writing for him, man. Then I started doing like stage plays. I just stayed with it, and I just kept developing. Then I started developing my own comedic voice, and now I done evolved into a whole career, school of comedy, all that stuff, man. But I never intended for it. Like I just kind of rolled into it, and I just kept going, man, until I got good at it, and it just kind of became a thing, bro. So yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like it was just like a natural gift of yours, you know. But was there any kind of like inspiration like prior to you you know, meeting those group of guys?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I always used to like, for some reason, the taller comedians. I don't know why. I know that sounds weird, but like Mark Curry, Sinbad, you know, those guys, man. And then going back a little further, Damon Wayans, Ken Ivory Wayans, Robert Townsend, Byron Allen. The reason why those guys are always so big to me was because that was my first look at seeing black men in a comedy setting. Because where I'm from now, I'm from a little small town, so I mean, we don't have no hope coming from the town. That's why I see, even to this day, I still see a lot of opportunity in Baton Rouge
Mm-hmm.
because where I grew up, it just wasn't, a lot of opportunity, and we didn't see many faces coming in. So, those people not only but I like the fact they were comedians, but they were also producers and writers, and they kind of
Right.
developed their own Hollywood lane. If you think about In Living Color, if you think about,
Mm-hmm.
the Robert Townsend show,
I
Hollywood
remember that show.
Shuffle,
Yeah.
going way back, those guys were the first black comedy producers, and I thought that was really cool. So I just kind of followed their career, and the more I followed their career, I kind of realized that these guys, don't get me wrong, no respect to the Say Entertainers, the Kevin Harts, the anybody's, but these guys came into the game with their own thing. And I was
Mm.
like, yo, that's crazy. So it's just pretty much kind of, those were like my major influences, one on business side and then also on the comedy side. Because Damon Wayans is my favorite comedian, like
That's
bar
dope.
none.
That's dope.
So yeah.
All right. So Damon Wayans, like, what's your favorite like project of his that you like the
I,
most?
I would have to say his stand-up special, The Last Standing, The Last
Mm-hmm.
Stand. Because he came out and he was like, yo, this is my last stand-up special. And it was. And most comedians don't do that, especially at the height of their career. They don't, if you get to the height of your career where everybody demanding for you, probably want to try to throw in at least 6, 7, 8, of them. But he was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm just on my last one. And it was. He stayed true to that. But that's just what I like about him, man, his style, and the fact that, again, it was a self-produced piece of work. And that was one of the
Mm-hmm.
first like stand-up specials I snuck in, late at night and turned on HBO and was like, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that like a lot of people talk about music, which I love music. I love music, but
Okay.
I was a movie kid. And
Right.
so for me, I used to watch a lot of movies. So like when some folks like, oh, I know that song, that's Anita Baker. Or I know that song, that's this. If I hear a song, I may not always know the singer, but like I'll be like, oh, it was from this movie. It was from that
Right.
movie.
Right.
So a lot of my music, um, I picked up from television shows and movies. So I'm a huge movie buff, movie kid. That's probably why I'm working on movies now, because it was just one of those things where I was like, bro, like someday I think I want to do that. I want to tackle that. So for
Mm.
me, my first love, even though I love stand up, my first
Mm-hmm.
love was like the sitcoms and the movies and the sketch comedy shows and stuff like that, like Saturday Night
Right.
Live, Mad TV. That's kind of like was always like my thing when it come to comedy. It wasn't so much the stand up. The stand up kind of developed as I got older. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But that's real interesting. I don't think I've ever heard anybody really say that they got most of their music, it ties you back to a movie. Because I'm kind of
Yeah.
like the other way around. I'll hear a song in a movie and I'll be like, oh, that's such and such song, and woo,
Yeah,
woo,
that's
like that. Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
that's real. That's real interesting. So
Yeah.
how would you describe your comedic style?
Man, that's a good question. I would say, man, I would say it's kind of like Uncle vibes. Like it's kind of like I have a very comforting spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like my delivery is just fun. You might
Right.
not remember every joke I say, but you be like, man, I laughed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot where I was at for a moment. I just was able to
Mm-hmm.
like forget all my stuff. And my strong suit on my comedy style is relatability. I like to relate to my audience. Like, yeah, I do
Right.
crowd work. Yeah, I rip on people, but my biggest thing is just giving good comedy shows, man, because people down here don't get it a lot. And not just that, but you done worked hard all week. You know what I'm saying? You got your lady
Mm-hmm.
with you. You don't want to be talked about when you get in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And especially it's BR too, so you don't know what might happen. So you
Facts.
just you
Facts.
know what I'm saying? So you just want to come and just I brought
Right.
my girl. let's laugh. You know what I'm saying? Or the ladies over
Mm-hmm.
here, let's laugh. So I try to always keep my comedy very well rounded, meaning,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for me, I'm from the South, but, you know, I've had a lot of influence from the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have traveled and lived on the West Coast for years. I've
Okay.
traveled on the East Coast, you know, for a couple years. So I kind of bring all that now to where when you see me on stage, you don't know where I'm from. You don't know really who, you know what I'm saying? He just
Right.
like, this dude just, he can connect with white, he can connect with black, he can go
Right.
clean, he can go dirty. I can cuss you out or I can tell you a joke from the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's really just about the versatility that I bring that I feel like, you know, I get a lot of gripe for it because
Mm-hmm.
I think my style is nostalgic in a sense, but I think it's
Okay.
also kind of new and refreshing.
Yeah.
So a lot of your more seasoned comics or older comics, especially when I was in LA, none of them will really bring me on the road with them because, you know, a lot of times you get somebody with that style, it just don't, the bigger comics don't like that. You know what I'm saying? They trying to
Mm-hmm.
shine. I get it. And then for here, you know, it's pretty much like, and I'm not trying to be messy, but there's a lot of cats that kind of in the comedy game here or been around a long time who pretend as if I don't exist. But
Yeah, I
you
feel that.
know as well as I know, I have a very large in life kind of personality, and the kind of projects that I get into, you gonna see me. You might see me in a commercial on TV. You might see me on Max 94.1 sitting with
Right.
Tans running it. You might see me, you know, on a billboard. You might see me in a movie. You know, there's several ways that you might see me.
Mm-hmm.
So that versatility, man, I ain't gonna lie, it's real challenging here in BR, but I
Mm-hmm.
love it because BR don't really have a landscape for comedians. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I have to come up with different ways to kind of get the bag and get the money. So it's always a challenge, but I kind of like the challenge because I could be in a place like LA where I can hit a few comedy clubs up a month and be paid and be straight.
Mm-hmm.
But here in Baton Rouge, you know, I like the challenge of I still want to bring my style here. So I pretty much have brought a lot of what I gained in Hollywood down to Baton
Mm.
Rouge. And on
Okay.
some ends, it's been well received by the people. I've always liked to rock with the people. The people
Right.
that's in the industry here, they don't care for me too much, but it's all
Right.
good because I love them too. So
Right, right, right. And me being a musician and an artist,
yes,
I can attest to what you're saying in that
hmm
aspect. But one thing I remind myself and I tell others or anybody who are listening, like you said it right. The people, gravitate towards you, and that's who you're doing it for. Like when you
yep,
find yourself trying to impress other comedians or other artists or other creators, then you're in the danger zone. You focus on the wrong thing. You know,
facts,
I mean, because
facts,
being a creator, we're going to pick apart. We don't listen to it or receive it the same because we're looking at your delivery, we're looking at your
right,
timing. We're looking, like for me when I listen to music, instead of enjoying the music, I'm breaking it down because I have a creative mind. So like, oh,
right,
okay, the ad libs was too high, or what kind of compressor was that, or that's too much
yes,
reverb. But you know what I'm saying? Instead of
yeah,
just receiving the song, but
yeah, yeah.
so I think your mind is in the right space, man. It's the fans,
I
and
appreciate it.
when
It is, bro. And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah,
I can attest to your music. Your music is very versatile. Like, and you know, you got songs like with Members of Bone. You know, I lived in Cleveland for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
word,
So I lived in
word,
Cleveland
yeah.
for a few years. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I see that, every time I think about that, I say I'm about to tell them when I come on the podcast, because Cleveland has a very good comedy and music culture. You know, it's a like
Mm-hmm.
it's a really good place for artists. And I don't
Okay.
know if it gets overshadowed sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you know your reach goes beyond, and you know that says a lot to you. And I appreciate you as an artist creating this space for other artists because
Right.
here in BR, I'm gonna go back and pick on BR media a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have a lot of lanes or legs for artists to get on platforms and talk about their career, talk about their path. Everybody
Right.
just be doing show after show after show, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
but you don't get a lot of media attention, here.
Right.
So the fact that, you're someone that's an artist that's giving that back to other artists,
Mm-hmm.
much love for that, man, because I wish more artists would do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that, man, and yeah, it's just I'm trying to have a place for people to express themselves and just
Right,
get
right.
their backstories out, or just their identity and their personalities out, as well as myself, man. And
Right.
right now I'm just reaching out to people who I'm a fan of, or people who I really salute their grind and
Yeah.
what they're doing. So like I want to be able to give a platform that's zero gatekeeping,
Yep.
uh zero hate, zero malice. Like we can
Right.
both shine together, like for
See
real,
what
for
I'm
real.
saying? That's why for my next show, you getting 2 free tickets, dog,
Oh, that's
on
what's up.
everything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, me and the
Next
wife will
show,
be in there.
VIP, dog.
I definitely appreciate that, man. I definitely
Yeah,
appreciate that.
no problem, man. I wish I could have got you out to the residency that I had,
Mm-hmm.
but I just ended it last month.
Okay. Yeah.
But I had a residency for at Socially Yours Event Center here in town since like last December.
Mm-hmm.
And we ran it through up to May, and then they extended it for 3 more months. I
Okay.
canceled August, but we did June and July, and it was a cool vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people didn't really know what a residency was. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
down here, but it was a cool thing just because most comedians, especially here, don't ever get that. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it was a cooler thing. But I got some other stuff coming up that I'm gonna have to get you out to, bro. So
Oh,
stay tuned
definitely,
for
man.
sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely, definitely. I will be in attendance.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, that's dope that you were able to be. You said in the Midwest, the West Coast, and the South.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, because you said you had, more of the issues in Baton Rouge as far as like the receptibility of the jokes. I'm assuming.
It's more so of like it's more so of kind of, well, let me say this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the dynamic of Baton Rouge has changed quite a bit. Like when I first
Mm-hmm.
started comedy here, it wasn't nowhere. You had, rags,
Yeah, I
upscale,
remember.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And it really allowed me to kind of cut my teeth, to where even Cat Williams talks about Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the comedy world, Baton Rouge is kind of like a no-fly zone.
Right. Okay.
Because when you come down here, you got to come with it.
Right.
And it's not like a city where they accept you just by name. Here
Oh
you
yeah,
got to kind
definitely.
of still bring the talent with the name. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Right.
And so when I went to Cleveland and then I ended up moving to LA, I was very terrified at first because I felt like, bruh, I'm from a country town. Like, nigga, this LA,
Mm-hmm.
like, this the mecca of entertainment. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna measure up.
Mm-hmm.
But little did I know that the trainings and the upbringings and the tough, rugged layout of Baton Rouge made I was eating them crowds alive
Mm-hmm.
because, Baton Rouge, you might come up, it might not even be a stage, you know what I'm saying? You might just be
Right.
with a little mic, like, a
In the
cat
middle of
standing five
somewhere.
feet from you with a fish plate in his hand, talking about some, man, this nigga made me laugh. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You
Right.
know? And
Yeah.
so I would say, I just feel like now the state of comedy here in Baton Rouge is still struggling
Mm-hmm.
because unfortunately comedy is a solo sport, and a
Right.
lot of guys like to kind of fly solo,
Mm-hmm.
and but it's really strengthened numbers. It's really strengthened numbers because numbers would help build an identity for the city. And if you can
Right.
build an identity of what comedy would look like here, more people I think will ingest it. They would definitely develop it. It would be great. So, for me, I kind of was able to kind of bring some of those things here. But
Mm-hmm.
what I did, I was kind of like you. I kind of created what I wanted to see. So I created my podcast, which was the C-Bazz cast. It kind of ran for like 3 years. It did
Mm-hmm.
very well because I wanted to I wanted to do comedy in a different format,
Mm-hmm.
more of a podcast format. I had Howard Hall on it, my homegirl Shan, my dude DJ GYMC DJ. So that helped a lot. But the thing about Baton Rouge is it's hard to find that consistency of finding the right venue that will kind of support the comedy and let it really
Mm-hmm.
grow.
Right.
So, that's always, I think, going to be a struggle until I kind of go ahead and say, all right, let me go ahead and do my own building, my own comedy spot. But,
Right.
which I think honestly will just end up happening just by default.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of running from the responsibility,
Mm.
of running a comedy club because I've ran comedy shows a lot in my career because not
Mm-hmm.
only am I a stand-up comedian, but I differ because I also produce comedy shows and I also can book comedians and things like that. So having with that knowledge, sometimes it's a gift and a curse because, the gift is I know how to do it. The curse is I
Mm-hmm.
know how to do it.
Right.
So
Right. I
sometimes it's
feel
kind
that.
of hard, and I find myself in a kind of like a conundrum, a tough little fix because I'd be like, man, I'm the only one that kind of really get this. And that's kind of why I started the School of Comedy so that I
Okay.
can kind of teach others my brand of comedy,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully bring some folks along. And of course, that's always a lot of fun. That's super challenging
Mm-hmm.
because, sometimes, you lead a horse to water, can't make them drink.
Right.
Then sometimes they will drink. So it's just one of those things. But I will say that for me, being in the game for as long as I have, I get a huge um I get a huge smile. I get a lot of good feelings that come from helping others now. Of course,
Right.
obviously I'm still doing my thing,
Mm-hmm.
but to see others, like if you bring somebody into the comedy game and then let's say their whole career or they haven't really had a comedy career and their mom can come see them perform. You know what I'm saying? And you
Right.
can see like
Right.
the look of their mom watching their baby perform or their spouse or their significant other come out, their friends come out. So I'm always liking the production part of it just because it brings that side out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of being a pioneer in a sense here too. Because of some of
Right.
the other comedians that have come before me or are still around here, they haven't really ever given others the opportunity. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I'm always about opportunity. I never see any of those guys really reaching back or really pulling others up. It's always just me, 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 me. And I'm like, yo, like, you ain't tired yet? Because,
Right.
I do this 100%. And I've done this
Mm-hmm.
100% in a major market. So for me now, it's more so just about creating a good environment, a good atmosphere, and then getting the word out. You know how it is now. It's tough to get people out now. Like it's a
Mm-hmm.
because the I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. The
Yeah.
last couple months I've taken a break, just from everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed in my BR people, man, because some of the things that I see that they go for entertainment wise,
Mm-hmm.
as far as it's just a lot of party. And I get it. I get it. But man, I'm just big on I just don't I want to make sure that the artist lane don't die either. I want us to be just excited for going to see a comedy show or a rap show or hip hop night, more
Mm-hmm.
just excited as you going to go to all black party. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, that's something I kind of look at and I'm like, man, y'all really eating that up. Like, and that's cool. But
Mm-hmm.
when you live in cities
Mm-hmm.
and you develop a sound or you develop your brand, you work hard so that you can emulate the guys that are doing the House of Blues, the guys that are doing the Hard Rock cafes. The guy. You want to emulate that the Apache cafes in Atlanta. You want to emulate those real city kind of entertainment vibes,
Mm-hmm.
and but all you see around you is just turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, and I'm like,
Right.
bro, like we can't have no after parties because everything is a party. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
Right.
so,
Right. You're right.
but
Do you think it's because it's from, I guess, from an event promoter or event planner is a more safer bet, like a safer investment to do the party than to have like a comedy show or artist showcase or something like that?
you know what? That might be something to look into. Honestly, I know I've
Mm-hmm.
I've I've worked with a few promoters around, and it was almost kind of like there was a venue that closed about 2 years ago. I'm not gonna say the name of the venue because I don't know
I
how
think
people
I think I
don't
know what
watch,
you're talking
but
about. Yeah.
the venue only focused on one night out the week. And I had the venue for a short period of time on contract, by the way, but I had them for a short period of time on another night. And all the attention, what's the saying? You know, the grass is greener where you water it at.
Right.
And so, you know, I would say some of the promoters, what they're promoting are what I like to call safe bets.
Right.
And it's almost like if I pull up, I pick on Bella Noche because it's closed. But I'm not talking about Bella Noche in my previous statement, but because Bella Noche, every time they would open, they would kind of have a crowd. So let's just pick on Bella Noche. And let's say I come into town on promoter and I'm like, yo, Saturday night, Bella Noche is up. And everybody come. And I'm like, I'm the highest promoter in the city. Well, are you? Because, you know, people going to go to the club on Saturday night anyway. And it kind of already has a following. So when I look at the promoters, I kind of really just see 2 or 3 popular people that will throw an event and it just catch. I don't really see the heavy promotional work, like the real promotional work. I see mostly like people know me. I'm from out here. I'm gonna throw something and everybody gonna pull up and that's just what it is.
Right.
So even though they saying they promoters, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of
right. I feel you. I get you.
Yeah. So, but no promoter would not come for me, man, because I ain't got time. I'm 44 years old. I ain't fighting nobody no more. I ain't got time for that.
No, man, no. It's all peace. This is a safe space for you to, you know,
yes,
talk
sir.
your stuff, speak your mind, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, you know, it's funny because I'll just say this real quick. I haven't been on a podcast in probably about maybe like 3 or 4 months. So I got a lot to say. So let's run it.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely. Yeah, you know, the floor is open to you, and like I said, this whole thing behind the grind is designed just to get the day to day of the actual artist, the actual creator of whatever field that you're in.
Nice.
With the hopes that you can give insight to those who are following in your footsteps. You know,
right.
So you mentioned that, you know, you're a comedian, but you also a producer, and you're running your school of comedy. So tell me how those 3 hats differ. Which one is the most difficult, and which one do you enjoy the most?
Okay, so out of comedian, producer, and school of comedy, right? Those 3.
Yeah.
I would say the producer of the show might be the most challenging. That's why I kind of took a break because you know, comedy is like that you know, that real prissy, you know, kind of AKA type chick that was in college that, you know what I'm saying, that it was kind of hard to get to her, like, but you wanted to, like, comedy is a little funny. It's a little fickle. And what I mean by that is that, and this is no offense to music, concerts, it's no offense, no other form, no other art form, but comedy, the scene has to kind of be set. You need to have the right lighting, always helps. You want to have a good, clear sound system, you know, so that you're heard well. And of course, you know, the audience plays such a huge factor, you know, in a show. And then of course, being able to organize it all, you know, it's a very challenging part because when you're in Baton Rouge, you have to kind of create that. You know, it's not like it's already kind of set. You know, you do have some places like Silly Rabbit that's kind of coming along. But for the most part, it's not set and staged like a Hollywood Improv or like a Comedy Store, or like a Gotham or a Laugh Factory. So you kind of almost have to train the audience. You have to train people to kind of learn how to enjoy comedy. And every time I finish a show, and you might even see me do this before, especially if I'm headlining. But
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, who's all in here? Who's all first time coming to a comedy show?
Mm.
And I'm not lying to you, man. Every show, about half of the audience, if not more, raise their hand,
Mm.
like actually sitting in a comedy show. So what that tells me is that, there's a lot of comedy here to be had. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of folks just kind of don't know what it is. But again, a lot of people I feel like have kind of damaged what the concept of comedy shows are. Because you have a
Right.
lot of people that's in this market, that's worked this market, that they may start a show at like, the flyer may say 8, they may start it at like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Right.
And you got comics still going on stage at 12 o'clock midnight. Man, we tired. People trying to go home. They trying to dance.
Mm-hmm.
They trying to turn up. So
Right.
if I do a show, typically we starting right at 8:15, and we're going to be done by like 10:30, man. Just because 2 hours is the max for somebody to be sitting their ass down anyway. You know,
Right.
so I'm always fighting for that part. But the reason why the School of Comedy kind of plays a huge part in all of this is because when I moved back to Baton Rouge from LA, I moved back because my mom got ill. Unfortunately, she passed away. My
Mm.
daughter's here. That's why I
Condolences.
just came from the volleyball game.
Right.
Just now I talked to you earlier. They won, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. But
Congratulations.
yeah, appreciate it, man. They did it. They look real good. They did their thing. And
Mm.
it's a 5A school. It's a big school. So I'm
Mm.
proud of it for being on the varsity. That's huge. I had to tell like, girl, look, I come from a smaller 3A school. Like, it's 5A. Shut
Mm-hmm.
up. Take the win.
Yeah.
But
Right.
she did her
Right.
thing. And but that's what brought me back down here was family. I'm a big family dude, and I found out that Hollywood was in here, not out there. I have it inside me, so I
Right.
can recreate wherever I'm at. And with what
Right.
we're doing right now, I mean, think about this. A few years ago, we couldn't sit down like this. We had to be out of right there where you was at. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just the forwardness of things. So I say all that to say that when I moved back here, I was very depressed because the Funny Bone had closed down,
Mm.
and there was no comedy except for one open mic they have in town. They still do the open mic at the station every Wednesday night.
Okay.
It's mostly white, but a lot of black comics roll over there too. And the thing about open mics, and I don't know, in the comedy world, open
Mm-hmm.
mics were created to help the comedians work on a craft, but also develop into comedians, and hopefully they can get feature spots. They can get, growing the headliner spots. They can work with the traveling comics coming in out of town. They
Mm-hmm.
can even have their own designated night, because if you build your own designated night, that's how comedy clubs eat and survive, you know, in the city. That's how they live.
Mm.
I may meet somebody, but they may have 30 family members that can come out and pull up on them. And if I can
Right.
develop that person, that money now goes into the club. Well,
Mm-hmm.
here, these cats just be showing up every week and they be doing open mic. But if you have an open mic spot, you normally have to have a club booker
Mm-hmm.
or the owner or the manager of the club there, and they're watching and helping and trying to insert them in places.
Mm.
Here, you don't have that, because I don't think they really know what open mics mean,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I'm not going to go to open mic and just do 3 minutes of time every week and be in front of a bunch of comedians. Not a real crowd, it's not a real
Right.
thing. It
Right.
doesn't really give you a chance to really, really find your voice. So what I did, I said, well, I'm going to create something called a School of Comedy, where I can let them do open mic style, but I'm also going to teach them just the basic etiquette of stand-up. Now, keep in
Mm.
mind, I try to always put this disclaimer out there. You don't have to be trying to be Kevin Hart. You ain't got to be, Ellen DeGeneres, like Tiffany Haddish.
Mm-hmm.
No, like, I got people that might, like, for example, there's a couple of folks that were one guy was running for a political seat,
Mm.
and he just wanted to punch up on his public speaking, you know. So it
Okay.
doesn't always have to be if you want to be in comedy, but I do teach the basic skills of it just so that people can know that world and what that's all about. And then I give my older comics a chance to kind of come in and we kick ideas around, we write, we work on material just so that there can be a development piece to it, not
Right.
just I'm gonna go Mike to all my friends. Then we're gonna get some beers and I'm gonna go back home. To me, that's a waste of time because I
Right.
do comedy as a career, not as a hobby. So that's why the School of Comedy was created. And it got some backlash for a while just because um I think it was just new to a lot of people. But
Mm-hmm.
I think now it's been around for almost 2 years now. So it's starting to really catch some legs and people are signing up and it's been working out pretty well. But so all those parts, man, are just so important. But I had to
Mm-hmm.
curate those parts because there's not enough comedy out here just for me to eat off of. So I had
Right.
to develop some of the things that had my own brand. And you know how it is when you got something
Yeah.
with your own brand, your own name.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah. Because
Right.
you get to control how fast you want to go, how slow you want to go, and you ain't gonna
Mm-hmm.
fire yourself. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
that's why I like because I tried corporate America for years, man. I worked a lot of Gage, a lot of jobs. I done
Mm-hmm.
everything. But it just got to a point, man, to where it no matter how hard I worked for these companies, no matter how much I was even going Mike Epps like from Friday to next on something. I was like, and I die for this job. Like I was employee of the month. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it'll come down to a mad day or something, and then
Mm-hmm.
they'll out me or I would leave due to the conditions. And I just got sick of it, bro. I got sick of just the back and forth of their world. So I was like,
Right.
well, if I can stand on my own and C-Bazz The Comedian, um, and get my acting side, my writing side, my production side. If I do these things, I think it'll be enough money for me at least to get by. And I've been
Mm.
doing, pretty well. Matter of fact, this month actually, no, I'm sorry, next month it'll make 3 years that I've
Mm.
gone 100% entertainment here in Baton Rouge, and it
Mm.
scared me at first because I've been 100% entertainment in LA, but that's LA. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here, I
Right.
was like, yo, what I'm gonna do? But it's been good, man. I got a great wife, man. A wife that like supports that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she rolls with me. It's a blessing because not all spouses are supportive of entertainment careers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's
That's a fact.
trusted me enough to say, I said, babe, I've been doing this for a minute. Trust me, roll with me. The lights ain't gonna never go off. The water gonna run, the rent gonna be
Mm.
paid. So if you just let me keep all those things going, your life ain't gotta change. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
how it's been ever since. So every month when I make that rent, I be like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um,
Right.
but it's a good look, bro. So I'm just, I'm always trying to encourage everybody. And I will say this, man, real quick before you get to the next question. I'm all
Mm-hmm.
about supporting others, bro. I'm all about
Mm-hmm.
like I'm gonna tell you now, man. If I had to say what's the secret to your success, or how you get in those movies, and how comedy shows, and how you done all this stuff, because I got tons of Hollywood stories, tons of stories too. But
Mm-hmm.
I've always been supportive of others, man, and I just want to encourage others to be supportive. Like, do a share, you know what I'm saying? Do a comment. Like, it ain't gonna kill you. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
even if sometimes I'll share an event, I may not even go to it, but I'll share it because I'm
Right.
showing love, and I might not even have a show. If you don't have a show at the same night, what's the problem? Like, that ain't got nothing to do with you. So when you share other people's stuff, it comes back to you, man. People see what you're doing and they hire you for more gigs, they put you in more things.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to encourage because it's been Baton Rouge MO for a long time that they don't support other people. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
keeping it real. And I'm comparing this from different cities I've lived in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just try to encourage a support side. Even if they're in your same field, it's all good. If they're in comedy, you can support it. If they in
Right.
if, Now, I would say this: I don't support everything in comedy because I feel like some of the things are forced and not kind of set up the right way, and they just kind of doing something. But if
Right.
if if it works what you do, and you put your time in and everything, I'm gonna show love. 100% of the time. Yeah.
And I want to say I commend you for that. Just the School of Comedy giving people an outlet to work on their
Yeah.
craft and sharpen their skills, and just that
Thank you.
mentorship. I think we need more of that, because if I could say so myself, I think a lot of the avenues that we have, or the venues we have, it's more business minded, and it's not attached to like the passion
Right.
of the art itself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
Thank
understand
you.
when me for sure, like I understand like me being an artist, that I'm a true artist, like paintings, drawings, and then the
Right.
music. So I'm very passionate about it. It's an extension of myself, but I also had to realize that it's a business as
Yes.
well. And so you do have to find that balance, but I think both are
Yeah.
needed,
Yes. Yeah.
just so both sides can be seen. And I think it's dope that you are adding both elements to that. Those are people who are passionate about what they're doing. You're passionate about what you're doing, but you're
Oh
also,
yeah.
teaching them how to be sharp, sharpen up their skills, and be more
Yeah.
professional with their passionate approaches.
Right.
So, hats off to you for that,
No, I thank you so much for saying that. Coming from you, bro, that you have no idea, that means a lot, man. Like I said, you're very respected out here, bro. You put a lot of work in, and everything that you've put out, 'cause I'm an outsider. So me coming in,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, I don't know. I know BR, but I don't know no BR. But I kind of gravitate to things that I see work. And I've seen
Mm-hmm.
all your posts, your graphics, bro. I see the effort, the energy you put into stuff. It just speaks volumes. You ain't got to say much. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
you
I
kind of
appreciate
say
that.
a lot through your works, and I like that. I feel like nowadays we have so many people who just get into this business, and they're just kind of throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks.
See what
And
sticks.
and the fact that you actually put your time into it,
Mm-hmm.
and I love it, man. I always try to wholeheartedly encourage that, because
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny when I give my comedy class. It's funny, I say, hey, this is just the entertainment portion, but
Mm-hmm.
I also do entertainment consulting as well, and that kind
Okay.
of falls under that part, the business side of comedy, more so of the marketing side of it, the promotional side of it. There's a lot of uh arms, you know what I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
branch off from just comedy. It's not
Right.
just it's not just the performance part.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, literally, and this ain't to discourage nobody out there, but I mean, sometimes, people don't realize actually performing a stand up a lot of times might just be 20% of your daily business. Like the
Right.
rest of your business is trying to do all the other parts to keep your business side going. So by the time you get to the stage, there's been shows I'd be like, bro, I don't even want to tell a joke. I've been working the whole time. I don't want to laugh. I don't make them laugh. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
it's
Right.
so much work that goes. But the good thing I will say is that I'm at a point now in my career where I notice now, I know how much I'm gonna put into it,
Mm-hmm.
before I even go into it. And that's
Right.
what I kind of want to say too. Hopefully that's like a gem to share, is just make
Mm-hmm.
sure you know what you want to put into it before you get into it. It's like, I'll even go as far to say charity. Like, you might go help somebody, I don't know, hand out food to the homeless. Well,
Mm-hmm.
before you decide to do that, see how much time you want to give, because they might be out there from 7 that morning to 7 at night.
Right.
So you might just want to come and say, look, I'm gonna come, but I'm gonna give y'all 3 hours. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm gonna give y'all
Yeah.
10 to 1. After 1, I'm gone. And sometimes you have to measure how much you want to put in. So now for me, it's definitely about working hard no more. Now it's all about the smart work, and the people that
Mm-hmm.
kind of have joined me with the School of Comedy and kind of the business and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I'm repping the brand right now. Code with Comedy on one side. That's Fred Pops
Okay.
Kimball, one of my comedians. He got a comedy album out. That's his
Okay.
side, and then my side, the other side is the at school at C-Bazz School of Comedy. But
That's
I'm real
dope.
big on branding and having
Mm-hmm.
merch and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's huge too. That's a whole other part that we can even get into as well. But the fact that I'm encouraging them now, hey, y'all kind of young in the game. Even though Pop's older than me, uh,
Mm-hmm.
but he's young in the game. And I'm like, hey
Right, right,
man,
right, right.
now it's time for y'all to kind of put that work in. Because
Mm-hmm.
if I want to take it back to the early 2000s, bro, I was out there, on Southern campus, flyers, LSU campus flyers. We paid a couple nice little females that we knew that looked kind of good, go to the
Mm-hmm.
clubs with us. They go holler the DJ, pass out flyers. We talking about putting up
Mm-hmm.
signs around town, going to the
Mm-hmm.
break rooms. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
we know a girl working the break room. Go in there, put that in your break room. Like, so, you know, so when you talk about the work, man, the leg work, oh my God,
Right.
so now for me, I'm more like when I talk to the business the business owners, the venue owners, and the people who kind of do these put together or want to have people come to their business so they can pay money and eat food and drink alcohol. I put the
Mm-hmm.
pressure on them now. I'd be like, look, y'all, listen, look, I can stay at home. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
I've done enough work to where, hey, take care of me on my rate, and I'll come and I'll give a good show. And it's up
Mm-hmm.
to you, business owner, to do some of the lifting because some of these business owners, especially here in Baton Rouge, I think they've gotten to the point to where they just feel like, you know, I guess you're supposed to do all the work and all they do is just open up the door and turn the lights on,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not always how that go. This is your establishment and you need to let your staff know what's going on. You need to know what's going on. You need to put some kind of marketing budget because most businesses have entertainment budgets. So a lot of
Right.
times if I do get a call I have a booking agency as well. And if I get a call on the booking side, I'm like, yo, what's y'all entertainment budget? Before we even say anything else, what's your entertainment budget? Because there should be a monthly entertainment budget that pays artists to come to your place to perform. And unfortunately, a lot of places here don't have them because a lot of the artists that are in Baton Rouge
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of this for free. They do a lot. And I'm talking about it's okay if you just start now. I get it. You're building your brand. But some of these BR artists, man, they call themselves artists, bro, they've been around a long time. And they sit out here just kind of I call them socialites. I'm like, you guys aren't
Mm-hmm.
really entertainers. You guys are socialites. You guys are kind of hanging out, but this entertainment that you're doing, that you say you're gonna do, this is how people feed their families,
Right.
When I got to School of Comedy, actually I didn't create that idea. I was in LA and rest his soul, there's a guy named, if you haven't heard of him, have you ever heard of a guy named David Arnold?
I can't say that I have. I can't say that I have.
So if you get a chance, brother, please do this. Please
Mm-hmm.
go on Netflix and type in David Arnold. Brother,
Okay.
he was a writer for, Meet the Browns and
Okay.
The House of Pain.
Mm.
And he actually taught comedy classes in LA. I
Okay.
never went to his school, or his classes, but this guy was the first comedian that I met that was making money multiple ways.
Mm.
And what I mean by multiple ways, writing, producing, acting, um, comedy, stand up. And I
Mm.
just was mesmerized because once I saw that, I knew it could be real.
Right.
Another guy that's like that is Chris Spencer. Chris Spencer is one of those guys been around about 30, 40 years. And you may not
Mm.
know him by name, but he was on a Jamie Foxx show. He's been in a bunch of movies.
Mm.
But his name is Chris Spencer. And he's one of those guys like that. These guys, what I call utility guys, like in baseball, these
Uh-huh.
guys can survive anywhere, just because they understand the business of comedy. So
Right.
everyone wants to get on stage and say those jokes, and that's great. But man, there's so much more to the game than that. to where I always just encourage people to research, to study. You know, if you want to get in something, learn how to do it, figure it out. And
Right.
especially someone like myself, I'm big on that. So I'm always online every day looking for people that might want to try it out or might say something. And a lot of them might become a silly rabbit. And I'll be like, hey, have you thought about this? Because
Mm.
also with the comics that do come learn from me, I also sometimes I bring them on the road with me. Sometimes I'll let them open up for me. I'll let them host. I'll teach them how to host. So there's
Mm.
also opportunity that I create, you know, from the C-Bazz School of Comedy, not just me, but if you want it, it's there. I don't force nobody. But if you
Right.
want it, you can come get it. So, yeah. So yeah, man.
That's dope, man. And like once again, like I salute that, man. You got knowledge, and you know you're willing to share it, you know, with who's
Yeah.
willing to learn.
Thank you, man.
And I think an important thing too, as far as like support goes, too, is like just use your discernment with
Yeah.
what you're supporting and what you're attaching yourself to, because you want to make sure
Yeah.
that these people are going to keep that torch going. You can set people up to a
Right.
position, but you know, like lead a horse to water, can't make it drink. You know what I mean? Or you know, that horse might
Yes.
take your water and gallop away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
So,
true. I got people now that literally hate me because I've actually put them in a better position than what they were before. And what I
mhm,
found out in BR, and it's okay because it's all a part that comes with the game. But
mhm,
once they get that local or that kind of that little bit of fame or that little bit
mhm,
of kind of success from their family and friends, a lot
right,
of times, you know, they kind of push back and they kind of go on by, and that's fine. I'm cool with it, but I be like, why you mad though? You know what I'm saying? Like you the one that pushed
mhm,
back. So but it all comes with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, you're gonna have people that's gonna love you. You're gonna have people that's gonna not like you, and sometimes they don't like you because you might try to maybe push them or challenge them to work a little bit, and they don't want to see that. They want to probably go party, hang out, kick it, and it's all good. But
mhm,
I'm big on that. So, but when I see him, I still smile and say what's happening, and you know, it's all love because at the end of the day, man, we all people. But I just believe in um establishing yourself. I believe in whatever you do, do it with respect. You know what I mean? And do
right,
it, and also do it as if it's the last time you ever gonna get a chance to do that thing. So I always encourage folks when I get tired, I'll be like, man, let me hit the stage and let me act as if this the last thing they're gonna remember me by, And I
right.
try to always bring that energy when I'm on the stage each and every time, bro. So it's a blessing to be like that. I'm thankful I possess that, but I got my good days, got my not so good days, but now,
Mhm,
man, it's beautiful because I've set some things up to where I'm just also enjoying life too, man. And that's huge in comedy writing, man, because as comedians,
mhm,
we might have a bit that we might be doing for a year straight, and that bit might get old. Or you might have came to a show, man. I seen this dude stuff like last year. So I gotta
right.
go live and have some other memories, you know what I'm saying? So I can
I'm
bring that
glad.
back to the stage.
I'm glad you said that, because
Yeah.
that's adjacent with you know, musicians as well. It's like
Yeah.
your living is a
Yeah.
major part of your subject
Yes.
matter. Go out there and get some new experiences, see some new things, and you know,
Yes.
stir up some new emotions for you to actually write
Yes.
about that, and that's going to resonate with your audience.
Yep.
You know, because it's a real experience. You know.
Yeah, it's huge, man. I tell people, man, I respect everybody, but you can't get burnt out. And when you doing shows, you know how it is, man. Shows on top of shows. I remember Hot Silver one time posted. I don't know if you remember this, like a year ago. They had that meme where it was like a sad clown face, and you
Mm-hmm.
could put it on the phone. And he said, "This is me every time I perform. Get you some," because
Mm-hmm.
he had performed it so many times. Even though he's still happy he was performing, he was like, "Bruh, I've done this song like 40 times this week." You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
it just goes to show, like, you can get burnt out. You can go down in flames, man. And the mental health aspect, I think, especially as we come to learn more about mental health, bruh. Like, I've been paying so
Definitely.
much attention to them. I've added working out back into my regiment over the past like couple months. So
Mm-hmm.
I work out every other day. I try to go run, jog, walk, shadow box, go play a little basketball, do a little golf. I try to like, do some of those things, man, because it all plays a part in all what you're doing. So
Definitely.
I had an episode earlier this year, and I'm actually writing my first full length feature film about it
Okay.
right now. And basically, I had an episode early in the year where I ended up in a psychiatric ward, and I was in there for several days.
Oh wow.
And it was something that totally just I didn't see coming. Um,
Uh-huh.
and it was a bit of some substances because I have allergies when the spring comes really bad.
Right.
So I was taking allergy medicine, but I ran out of the stuff I normally use. Come to find out, I started taking some other allergy medicine I had. It was expired.
Oh.
So that had an effect along with me traveling, along with me doing a bunch of
Mm.
shows, along with me staying
Mm-hmm.
up late, along with me drinking, stuff like that.
Right.
Cause I normally drink a couple times having a show, whatever, social drink, I'll drink. And all that kind of caught up to me. And
Right.
so ever since that happened, it just showed me like, hey, bro, like, you something. I mean, look what just happened to Fat Man Scoop. I mean, it's just
Right.
it's a you just never know. So you gotta take care of your body, man. You gotta take care of your mind. So those are
Mm-hmm.
things that I would say this year I've added in that I've never thought about before. You know what I mean? So like you
Right.
said, it's just so many levels of entertainment. It's it's a great side, but it's a dark side too. That
Right.
I think a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to being in demand or having contracts to fulfill, jobs to go do, those kind of things. It ain't like I'm just gonna stay at home and sit this one out. No, this ain't like an open mic where I can go sign my name or not. This is something to where, hey man, we gave you a deposit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We gave you your money, you gotta come deliver. People expecting you. I got my sound guy here, we got people waiting on you. So
Right.
it's a lot, it's a bit of a demand that go to it too. And when you add that with the acting world, that's a whole nother level of demand that I mean, Jesus, you know what I'm saying? You like I laugh at some of the folks here because don't nobody want to be told nothing nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Go on some of them Hollywood movie sets. Go on some of the movie sets I've been on even down here. They ain't playing with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Them people gotta make that film, they gotta do what they gotta do. You gotta say them lines, you gotta be ready. You can't come, you gotta come with it, bro, because this
Right.
is business. So yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think, that's a really great testimony. It's good to see you back in good health and to the point to where
Thank
you
you.
can actually share that story. And like I said, the basis of
Thank you,
behind
man.
the grind is to give that insight not only to what you're doing and what you experience as a human behind the craft, but for people,
Right.
for people who are coming up in those footsteps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, man,
Yeah.
you definitely have a lot to share, and
Yeah.
we running out of time. So hopefully we could do a part 2, 3, 4, however, because I really
Yes.
want you to be able to give us more about your story. But before we
Yeah.
close out, I want to ask. I know you said Damon Wayans, but who are your top 5 comedians of all time, dead or alive?
Oh man. Okay. Okay. Damon Wayans, of course.
Hmm.
Sinbad,
Okay.
Mark Curry, um, Chris D'Elia, which he got a real bad rep a couple years ago because he got caught up in like some molestation charge stuff and all that. But that
Mhm.
dude is man, that dude makes me cry when I performed with him before several times. But just a real strong comedian. And Tony Baker, man, Tony Baker,
Tony Baker. Mm.
he's a bruh. And we used to do shows together. I lived in LA. He's just a good dude, but man, his stand up is hilarious because he was able to take the Family Matters theme song and turn it into a whole joke. And I was like, that's stupidly funny. So dude
Right.
just dope. And I don't think he get enough, credit. Last
Yeah.
one, honorable mention is my man Steve Brown. Steve Brown is a very, very funny, legendary comic that, is out here still doing it, but you know how it is. He's been doing it for 20 some years. He's still got a name, but you know, some of the other guys have kind of got through the cracks and got up there. But Steve Brown is a beast, and then David Arnold. So I got 2 honorable mentions, but those are like my main guys that I love to watch anytime.
That's dope, man. That's dope. So go ahead and let the people know where they can follow you. Let them know what events and movies or films that you're working on. Let them know what's to come and where they can follow you. Absolutely,
man. Just look for me at Young Gage, at Young No, I'm just joking. No, holler at me. I gotta come to one of your unboxings too, bro. Your unboxings be dope, bro. I gotta come to one just to sit in on one of the unboxings. But
you're welcome to do it. We can do a joint one. You know what I'm saying?
Big.
If you got some merch somewhere, I'll do an unboxing for your merch. How about that?
Okay, bet. I bet. I got you. I definitely would do that. But just follow me at C-Bazz The Comedian if you guys just want to Google it. Right there, C-Bazz The Comedian. All my stuff is there. Linktree.com/C-Bazz Comedian. Right now, I currently have a movie on Tubi and Amazon Prime. It's a Diminishing Value of Love. It's a BR actually produced comedy company that is, I think, lighting the world on fire. We got 2 more coming out that they put me in. That's coming out. One in the fall, one in the spring. Can't really speak on those yet because it's still untitled projects. But go watch Diminishing Value of Love, man. I got about 4 or 5 good funny scenes in there. Check that out, man. Right now I don't have any comedy shows kind of setting up things for next year and things like that. I'm working on some out of town stuff. But yeah, or if y'all want to book me, you can always book me for, I do weddings, I do divorce parties, I do receptions, I do stand up anywhere, your family picnic, reunion, whatever it is, if you're the church. So you can always book me. And and then if you're interested in comedy, man, just message me, DM me. I'm very open to talk to. We talk about, with the School of Comedy, but I also do entertainment consulting. And that just not just narrowed down to if you want to be entertainment, you might be a business owner that might be trying to reach audiences other ways through skits or through other funny things that get people kind of engaged in your projects and stuff like that, or what you're selling. So holler at me. So again, C-Bazz Comedian, man, just get at me and go check the movie out, and it'll be more on the way this year. So
sup? Already. Well, look, whenever you doing,
one other thing. I actually, I created a song earlier this year, right?
I saw you was doing the ciphers.
Yeah, I did a song. It's called I Do Love Good. So I created this character called Papa Pump. And if y'all want to go listen to it, just type in Papa Pump, I Do Love Good. It's on all platforms. And it's more of a comedy parody, Southern Soul type vibe. But go check that out, man. Especially it being the 3rd of September, because this dude is, if Papa was a Rolling Stone was a person, this is what this character Papa Pump is. So definitely go check that out. And so I did have my little feel of what it feels like to be like in a recording studio. And check out, I'm on Sick of Sin's music video, Do It Yahweh. It's got like over 10,000 views on YouTube. And you can check me out in Mr. No Days Off video as well. I got that feeling. So so I'm in a couple music videos, man. Shout out to the artists who reach out to me to put comedy in their videos. I appreciate that. I always encourage in that, you know what I'm saying? So so yeah, man. So that's my whole long ass spiel. Thank you.
Oh no problem at all, man. And if you ever got any films or skits coming up in the future, if you need an extra, I'll let me. I don't know about the acting.
It's nothing.
Be a good extra.
All right. It's nothing. It's all right. I remember you saying that now.
Yeah, I'm with it, man. But once again, man, I appreciate you coming on to Behind the Grind, where we tug on the strings of all things art, entertainment, and music. I'm the host, Young Gage from Baton Rouge, born and raised. Our guest, C-Bazz. Yo,
right.
Tune in for the next episode, man. Much love, much respect. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing, bro. You being seen.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate
noticed,
it. Keep putting on for BR, bro. Keep doing your thing. Keep working with all the artists, bro. Let these folks know that it ain't just Michael Foster Project and Universal Language Band out here. You know what I'm saying? It's 1,000 other great acts that's out here So yeah, I
Definitely.
said it, and I've been saying I'm gonna step on that. You know what I'm saying? No respect to them. Get y'all money, but there's other artists that's out here that's doing their thing. So much love to everybody who grinding.
Alrighty, man. Well, look, keep in touch, man. We're gonna have to do this again.